what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
This is a previously recorded episode of Making Living Better on WHKY, Catawba County, North Carolina's radio source for first-person storytelling.
Good morning. Welcome back to First Talk with Hal Row on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. We worked with the fine folks over at Catawba County who are working with the Making Living Better branding program. And one of the things that they suggested is they said, let's just talk to some folks from Catawba County, people who are important, people who are making their life here in Catawba County. And I thought that sounds like a pretty good idea. I just like talking with folks. And we're going to do that this morning with Mr. David Williams. He's a barber. He's the owner of Plush Cuts Barbershop. He's also a member of the Hickory City Council. And Mr. Williams, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Good to see you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me this morning.
You're more than welcome. Now, you didn't grow up in Catawba County. I want to say, now, where is Bessemer City? They gave me a little information here. That's not really fair. They gave me a little information, but you may not know that much about me. But you were born and raised in Bessemer City?
Yes, I was.
And so how did you get here in Hickory? Tell us a little bit about that, or in Catawba County, I guess.
Well, the thing is, once I completed barber school, I wanted to venture out, go somewhere different, get away from my hometown and just start afresh in a new place. And
right.
I had been to Hickory before and heard a lot of great things about Catawba County, and I just decided I would come here and give it a try.
So where'd you go to barber school? Where does that happen?
I went to the Hairstyling Institute of Charlotte.
Okay, very good. So now where is Bessemer City? Is that kind of near Charlotte?
Yes, it is located in Gaston County.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, it's about maybe 30 minutes from Charlotte. Yes.
What was it that made you decide that you wanted to be a barber? I think that's an interesting career choice. What was it that made you want to do that?
Well, funny thing, I used to get my hair cut by my grandmother when I was growing up.
Right.
And she used to leave really big gaps in my hair, and all my friends would laugh at me.
Right.
And so I decided I can't do much worse, and so I decided I'd start cutting my own hair.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Cutting your own hair? How about that?
Yes, and over time I began to get better and better, and sooner or later, soon after, my friends began to want me to cut their hair, and that's when it just kind of occurred to me that I might make a good barber.
And you make a good living at it, because if people say, hey, will you cut my hair? Then all of a sudden you think maybe I'll make a career out of this. That's pretty cool. So when you moved to Hickory, I guess, how does a barber start off? Do you just start off, you go to a barbershop and say, do you have a chair? And tell me a little bit about that, because I don't know how a barber gets into it once you get out of school and once you get licensed.
Yes, once you complete barber school and you start looking for a place to work, yes, you have to work as an apprentice barber under a licensed barber for a year.
Okay, did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
So then, so you moved to Hickory and you found an availability, huh?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so tell me a little bit about working that first year. Where did you work? Was it where you're at now? Was it the shop that you have now?
The first year I came to Hickory, I worked at a place called Clemens Barbershop.
Okay.
And it was a good experience for me. Of course, I was a little nervous, a little scared coming to a new place where no one knew me. I did not have any family here.
Right.
Didn't have any ties to the city at all. But fate would have it that everything worked out great. The people here in Catawba County and Hickory were very accepting of me and welcomed me with open arms.
Nice. So now tell me a little bit about how you got into plush cuts and how you came into ownership. So you did your apprenticeship,
yes.
Started working as a barber.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about how you got into the ownership, because that's a big move. I mean, talk about entrepreneurs. You're cutting your own hair, and a few years later, you own a barbershop, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, that's real. That's a big move from working at a chair and working with somebody to owning your own company.
Definitely. It was truly a blessing. The thing is, once I began working at the other barbershop, I became friends with other barbers throughout the city.
Sure.
And I became friends with a gentleman that worked at this historic place down the street. This was the first original African-American barbershop. This place had been in business for over 40 years.
Wow.
And the gentleman was at the retirement age. And he knew me pretty well, and he said he had a lot of confidence in me and that he would love for me to carry on the torch and the tradition of that place. And he approached me about coming down and taking over for him, and I gladly accepted.
So that's you worked out some type of financial deal, or the clients or the customers or something like that. Was that a big transition? People coming in and saying, "Hey, whatever his first name was, Bill or whatever, we're at." Mm-hmm. So where is he? What's going on? Who are you? And was that a big thing? Was that a tough time?
Yes, it was at first.
Because they didn't know you.
Exactly. And I did have my customers that I had became acclimated to that followed me to the new place.
Right.
But I did have his customers that were there and that were regular people that came there. And they pretty much were a little skeptic about me at first. But after a while, and seeing the way I carried myself and seeing my professionalism and seeing my talent, they became more comfortable with me, and again, they accepted me as well. Your
barber's personal. When you have a certain barber, it becomes a personal thing to you. You walk in and they're not there. I've done this before. I know people who listen to this. I'll walk in, hey, where's, not here, I'll be back. People will come back on the day that their barber is there, and then they know that they're going to be there. So I guess that was the same with you. You had people who went with you and knew you. And you talk about your professionalism and your ability to cut hair.
Yes.
I did find out from the information that I got that you make sure that you stay up to speed on what's happening with the style and with the I guess the equipment, the materials, and keeping up to speed. That's something I guess you got to do in your line of work. Is that right, sir?
Yes, it is. There is an annual hair show in Atlanta I like to attend regularly. Right. You can learn all the latest styles, all the latest techniques, latest tools that people are using, and I like to stay up on things like that because I like to stay, number one, ahead of my competition.
Right, right, exactly.
and also, I just want to provide the best service for my customers and make sure that people are getting the quality for their dollar, and I really have a lot of respect for this industry, and I want it to show through my work and through the work ethic that I give for my clients.
That's fantastic. And it doesn't matter what line of work you're in. If you have that, you're going to be successful. If you have the respect for the industry and you want to do well, you're going to do well. Now, what is it about a barbershop? We were talking before we came on the air, and whether it's Floyd's Barbershop in Mayberry or whether it's Cedric the Entertainer in Barbershop, wherever it is, there's something about a barbershop. Mm-hmm. What is that? What is it that's unique about that?
It's the mystique of the place. The barbershop is the one place, if you think about it, Hal, you go there very, very often. You see these barbers and the people in the barbershop almost as much as you see your own family. Some people, they come once a week, and, we spend a lot of time together, and I make jokes about it all the time that the cares and concerns of the world are talked about in the barbershop, and everyone has a solution.
That's right. That's right. You have a lot of I know that when I was growing up, that's the way it was. It's still that way today. Do you have a couple regulars who are in there?
Yes.
Who probably, I don't know, maybe from the time you open in the morning till almost in the evening, that's where they like to be.
Oh, yes.
They like to be at the barbershop.
Definitely. You have people that come by the barbershop that have no intentions of getting a haircut.
Right.
They're just there to hang out, to just soak in the atmosphere and just be there in the brotherhood of the nature of the barbershop.
Usually there's a newspaper there. I don't know.
Oh, definitely.
There's someone, you got to look through the newspaper, and someone's going to comment on that.
Oh, yes.
And then you may have people show up a little bit earlier, and they kind of come, I guess they had their own shift. Either they come early in the morning or late in the evening. But there is something about that. And, you talk about the mystique of the place, but also there really is a sense of community there.
Yes.
If somebody is hurting, it'll be talked about at the barbershop. If someone's doing well, it'll be talked about at the barbershop. That is kind of, it's almost a community center, is it not? I mean, this is where a lot of information gets translated or people talk about things.
Oh, yes, definitely. And, and I'll hark again on what I was speaking about when I say it's a family atmosphere. You have gentlemen that they grew up getting their hair cut there. They bring their sons there, and then their son brings their son there.
Right.
So that's a place where people feel comfortable because they were raised in this place.
Right.
And, I mentioned before to some people that you have a lot of businesses in the community that come and go, but the barbershop has staying power.
Right.
And what I mean by that is throughout generations, a barbershop will stand where different businesses will open, close, and your entire family will go to this barbershop, patronize this place,
right.
And you see yourself there as a child, and you bring your son, your child there, and you just feel comfortable, and you feel a sense of family, a sense of community, and that's why people open up And that's why we talk about all different facets of life in the barbershop.
You know, I'm just sitting here thinking about this. You are probably one of the most well-informed individuals in the community. You probably know a lot about what's going on. More with David Williams. We'll talk about him next. Making Living Better, right here in Catawba County. More with David Williams right after this break.
Have you ever wanted to live somewhere that's close to everything and has awesome public schools for your kids to attend? Well, we have the right place for you.
We would love if more people would move to Catawba County. Catawba County schools are in every crevice and corner of the county.
We have places to work like Showtape, Apple, and new public grocery stores. There are jobs for everyone.
We have awesome higher education schools too, like Catawba Valley Community College and the Nora Ryan University.
We have many things to do like a real gold mine, a science center, and even Lake Norman for water sports. We even have Lake Norman Marina, the oldest marina on Lake Norman.
Come to Catawba County, making living better.
This message brought to you by students at Sherrills Ford Elementary School.
Good morning. Welcome back to First Talk with Hal Row on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. David Williams joins us this morning. Barber in the Ridgeview neighborhood, owner of Plush Cuts Barbershop, Hickory City Council member. Mr. Williams, Susie came in and said, you need to remind everybody where this is. You need to let them know where the shop is. Where is Plush Cuts located, sir?
Yes. Right now I'm currently located in Hickory Plaza, which is 523 Highway 70. It is right in the shopping center with Big Lots, City Trends, and Rugged Warehouse.
Okay. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's was that Laxton's at one point?
Yes.
Okay.
It used to be Laxton's Barbershop.
Okay, very good. Well, I know exactly what you're talking about there. Now, you do something that not a lot of people do, and that is because Susie brought this up. Use a straight razor for the shaves?
Yes.
Tell me about that. That is fantastic because I've been looking for a place because you do the whole thing, right?
Yes, yes, I do. And and funny thing also, when we were off the air and you mentioned Floyd from Mayberry,
exactly.
I'm fascinated with tradition and history.
Right.
And also currently the thing that I forgot to mention while we were on break, I currently wear a shirt and tie every day because of watching an old episode of Andy Griffith.
Really?
Yes, and every day. And I require it for any employee of my shop because it's
good for you.
Yes.
Way to go! I think that's fantastic. Good for you.
Because it looks, number one, it looks professional, very professional.
Right.
And just to have something a tradition, because in those days barbers they wore a shirt and tie every day.
Absolutely.
And they would give you a shave with a hot towel and a lather, and that's another tradition that I continue to carry on to this day.
So if someone's looking for that old school, they're looking for that shave with a straight razor and the hot towel. I'm going to come see you.
Please do.
I'm going to come see because that's something that I have not had in a long, long time. Is that great? Because there's no shave like that.
No.
That you get from a barber.
That is true.
And I got to move on. I could sit here and talk to you about barbershop all day long, but I want to find out a little bit more about you now. When you came to Catawba County,
yes,
you of course you came up here, started working at a barbershop. It was great. You liked it, and you thought, well, this is okay. But it's a nice place, and people have been nice to me. But, it's a big, wide world out there, and maybe I'll take a look at maybe someplace else. But there was something here that maybe caught your attention. Let's talk a little bit about that. One of the main reasons that you decided to, and I got a great smile on your face right now, just to let people know, one of the main, or a main reason that you decided Catawba County might be right for you.
Yes. While I was working here, of course, my family was still back in Bessemer City and Gaston County,
right.
And my mother was dealing with some serious health issues, and I had two younger brothers that they were really young, and I felt like I really needed to be there more in their lives and be closer to my mom as she was getting more and more ill.
Right.
And so I was contemplating moving back and working at a place in that area. And then, as fate would have it, I met a young lady, Deliska Cobrath. She just happened to come in the barbershop one day, and it was like one of those movies. I could hear music playing in the background when she came in the door.
Right.
And we began to talk, and history just had a way of having me stay here in Hickory after meeting this young lady.
So she kind of caught your eye?
Yes.
You decided that maybe I'd like to visit Hickory, stay in Hickory a little bit longer. Maybe.
Yes.
And now that today is your wife, is that right?
Yes, she is my wife and the mother of my young son, David T. Williams.
Very nice. I think that's a great story. That's a great story. I like the music playing. You got to see that. You got to see that happening. So you moved to the area now. I want to ask you about this because now you're a member of the Hickory City Council.
Yes.
So you've done well. So you came up. You were just just starting out. Mm-hmm. You had a chair. You had an opportunity. You move on up. Eventually, now you're the owner of a barbershop, and now you're a member of Hickory City Council. First of all, I mean, that's great for you. It's great for Catawba County to know that you could move ahead like that, and there are opportunities.
Yes.
But did you ever kind of envision or picture yourself being at this point where you are right now? Because that's pretty strong.
No. I came here with just a shirt on my back, didn't know anyone, any family ties, anything.
Right.
I could never have imagined that I would be in this position those years ago when I first came to Catawba County. And as you said, this is just an example of the great opportunities that Catawba County presents to anyone of any race, of any age. This is a great place that you can come to and you can make things happen with hard work and determination here in Catawba County.
I was going to say, it's a great place, but you cannot, we don't want to take away from hard work, determination. I mean, you wear a tie every day to work.
Yes.
You're there early, you stay late. We talked about that. You're opening it up, you stay late. It's taken the dedication, your love of the profession, and your respect for the profession have also been I would say the major factors in success. You got to work hard, but if you want to work hard, if you have an idea, if you want to be an entrepreneur, Catawba County, great place for it. I will agree with that. But you got to have that. I don't think that you're the kind of guy who anybody's ever handed anything to.
No.
It seems like you have worked for it and have done well. And let's talk a little bit now. City Council, who would ever figure, right? Who would ever?
Yes.
So that's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about that. Are you enjoying it so far?
I am. City Council has been very interesting, to say the least. I am definitely enjoying it. And just in the past few months, I have learned so much about the inner workings of the city and what it takes to make things happen on a day-to-day basis throughout the city that the average person doesn't really notice.
But I'll bet also that you bring something to City Council because you have people sit there in the barbershop who bring up points of conversation, who will bring up maybe concerns that they would never bring up in front of City Council. They might not go stand in front of a podium and say, but you hear about the potholes. Yes. You hear about the problems maybe that are happening in families. Because you've got that unique view from the barbershop that you're able to bring to City Council. So I would say, sir, it works out good for everybody.
Yes, because that is one of the things that I joked about while I was campaigning, that I will be the easiest councilman to find working in the barbershop.
Right.
Yes, and also the great thing about that is, as you mentioned, another thing that I said when I was campaigning is, someone asked me, David, what is it that you feel the people of Hickory and the people of your Ward 4, what do they need? And I said, the thing that I feel that they need most is hope. And what you just mentioned defines exactly what I said. People were afraid to go to council meetings and express themselves, express their cares, their concerns, or even intimidated to talk to other councilmen that they did not know.
Right.
And so they know me personally, and so they feel like if they have a care or a concern, whereas before they would, I'm not going to worry about it. Now they say, I can go and talk to David.
Right.
And that is the hope that I spoke about while I was campaigning, and that is what I'm providing for a lot of people, and it makes me feel good about that.
You can talk to your barber.
Yes.
Nice to see you, Mr. Williams. I want to thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's been a real pleasure. Very nice to get to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening. To find more first-person stories from Catawba County, visit makinglivingbetter.com or tune in to themesh.tv each month for a new podcast.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.